What is sound? Well, right now it's what's allowing you to hear this video, because there's no light at all, so let me fix that real quick. Sound waves are just a collection of air molecules interacting with each other, and when air molecules bump into each other and create more dense regions, those are called compressions. And when they spread out and create more sparse regions, those are called rarefactions. But how am I making these sounds, and how are you hearing them? Well, I spoke, so I exhaled, and as I exhaled the air passed through my vocal cords, my larynx, and the vocal folds in my larynx vibrated as the air passed through it, and that caused air molecules to bump into other air molecules, caused compressions, which cause sound waves. And those sound waves then reached your ear. As those sound waves traveled through your ear, they vibrated your eardrum, and that vibration was modulated by three little bones called ossicles, which amplified, maybe changed the vibration, passed that vibration down onto your cochlea. It's a little snail-shaped structure inside your inner ear. And inside your cochlea are little hair cells that are submerged in a fluid. And when that vibration reached your cochlea, it vibrated the fluid, which vibrated those hair cells. The hair cells are all connected to the auditory nerve, which connects to the brain. So that vibration got turned into an electrical signal by your hair cells, which the auditory nerve conducted to your brain. And that's how you heard the sound. Although the process of your ears converting incoming sound waves into a phenomenon your brain would consider sound seems instantaneous, to your brain at least, the actual act of those sound waves traveling from your speaker to your ears is not. Just like the photons in your screen travel to your retina at a speed, sound also travels at a speed. And we can measure that speed of sound if we get far enough away to experience those sound waves actually travel. Sound is fast, but not that fast, given by the fact that we see lightning before we hear thunder. So if we just get someone to stand kind of far away and make a noise, and we record it, we should be able to see the person do the action that made the noise before the noise gets to our camera. As my friend stands on the other side of this football pitch and claps, you should be able to hear the sound of him clapping after he claps. And it's more apparent once slowed down, like this next clip. Using Google Earth to approximate the distance between the camera and my friend, we get an approximate distance of 109.69 meters. Now, all there's left to do is watch the video through in slow-mo and figure out the frame delay between my friend clapping and the sound of that clap reaching my camera. And just to be sure, I did it for the first 5 claps. If we take those frame delay values and divide them by 30, we'll get the individual times it took those sound waves from each of those claps to reach my camera. Now, if we take the approximate distance between the camera and my friend, 109.69 meters, and divide those by each of those time values, we'll get 5 speed values. And then if we average those speed values, we'll get an experimental speed of sound of about 352 meters per second. The actual speed of sound at 86 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature during which I recorded, is 348.94 meters per second. So I'd say that's not bad. In all of the scenarios that we could encounter in our day-to-day lives, light always precedes sound. But can the thunder appear before lightning? Metaphorically speaking, of course. Obviously it's impossible for the light of a lightning bolt to reach you after the sound of the thunder. Yes, in very rare instances, sound does precede light. In fact, it creates it. In 1934, 2 German scientists, Schultz and Frenzel, were messing around with a ultrasound-producing device. Ultrasound waves produce very high frequencies, way out of our hearing range, and they put this device in a tank of photographic developer, in the hopes that maybe it would help those photos develop faster. That's not what happened. What instead happened when they looked at those photos after they developed was that they saw tiny little dots on those photos. And it wouldn't be until almost 30 years later that we would realize what happened in that tank. As those ultrasound waves traveled through the tank, the pressure of those waves ripped apart the molecules of the liquid, creating little pockets of air. Bubbles. And as those bubbles collapsed, the pressure inside those bubbles increased. And as the pressure inside those bubbles increased, the temperature increased. And it got hot. Really hot. Like surface of the sun hot. And as those bubbles kept collapsing and collapsing, they collapsed to a point where, eventually, light. The bubbles popped, creating little flashes of light. Sonoluminescence is what we now call this phenomenon. If you can believe it, there's one animal in the entire animal kingdom that can produce sonoluminescence. One instance of it in nature. It's the pistol shrimp. The pistol shrimp can snap its claw fast enough to create a bubble via cavitation that, when collapsed, produces light. The shrimp is the pinnacle of all evolution.
The lens cover.
Oh, yeah.